This campaign began as a mission. No more division, no more hate, no more South Texas and the hardworking people here being left behind. And you didn't just hear that mission. South Texas, you answered the call. 100%. And the whole country heard us.
Tejano legend Bobby Pulido.
Bobby Pulido.
Bobby Pulido.
Bobby Pulido is officially launching his bid for Congress.
That's right. South Texas isn't a footnote anymore. Together, con toda la fuerza del corazón, we're making it impossible to ignore us. And this is a movement that's powered by you, the people. In branch halls, restaurants, workplaces, coffee shops, all across South Texas. Because we know
I'm not Team Red, I'm not Team Blue. South Texas, I'm Team U.
Because Bobby's story is our story. A South Texas story. It's hard work, it's answered prayers, and it's never giving up, no matter the odds. And we're inspiring leaders that understand this isn't just a campaign, it's a movement, a new kind of politics, born right here in South Texas. In every ranch hall, every packed venue, with every headline, we're the proof that real change can start anywhere. With grit, con corazón, and with a leader willing to stand up and fight for the people.
South Texas, 100%.
What's up, Weslaco? Guys, so happy to be here tonight. Welcome to this awesome event here at Mustang Lounge. My name is Richard Gonzalez, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as your Hidalgo County Democratic Party chairman. Welcome, guys, welcome. Now, I got a question for you. Who here is excited to see James Talarico and Bobby Pulido? Well, I'm gonna do one better. Look, guys, I want you to imagine something right now. Think about Washington, D.C., White House, Oval Office. Trump is probably there, falling asleep. He's definitely falling asleep, guys. I want to ask that question again, and I want you to be so loud you wake his lazy butt up from his little afternoon nap. Are you excited to see James Talarico and Bobby Pulido? Oh, there you go. I can guarantee you that woke him up, guys. Y'all, right now we are at an amazing time in our history. It is a great time to be a Democrat. It's an even better time to be a South Texas Democrat. All around this country, the people are taking back the power. You look to see at every election that has been happening, Democrats are winning. And not just by a little bit, but we're kicking some ass, guys. That's what we're doing. What Texas needs right now, what South Texas needs right now, are fighters. Fighters that are not afraid to get in the face of every Republican out there and tell them what you're doing is not going to stand, not here and not now. What we need are fighters that are going to champion, not just for every single Texan, for the working class, for our immigrants, for our women, our seniors, our kids, our students, not just the 1%, not just the billionaires. What do they care about us? Nothing. Are we going to stand for that, guys? Are we going to fight back? Yeah, you damn right we are. And we are going to fight back because we have no other choice. Next year is the year that we take back this state, we take back this country, and the party belongs to the people, not to the billionaires. And the only way that we can do that, guys, is by electing strong fighters to represent us in Congress. That is the only way. And so I can sit here and I can tell you all sorts of things about these next guys, but you know what? I'd rather let them do that themselves. But before they get up here, I want to introduce somebody that is a loud voice in politics, Mr. Carlos Eduardo Spino.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches, mi gente del Valle, ¿cómo están? Hoy estamos aquí reunidos porque se viene el año más importante de nuestras vidas, el 2026. Y es que este es el año donde vamos a decidir el futuro de nuestra comunidad. ¿Será un futuro de tristeza, persecución y maldad? ¿O será un futuro de felicidad, esperanza y prosperidad? Porque miren, las cosas están muy claras. Actualmente tenemos un gobierno nefasto que no sirve, así de simple. Un gobierno de ricos y poderosos que mientras la gente trabajadora sufre económicamente, ellos se siguen llenando los bolsillos a base de corrupción y picardía. Un gobierno que todos los días pisotea la Constitución y las leyes sagradas de esta nación. Un gobierno que está cazando a nuestra gente como que si fuéramos unos animales, sembrando terror, miedo y realmente destrozando a nuestras comunidades. Y lo peor de todo es que disfrutan de nuestro sufrimiento como que si fuera entretenimiento. Esto representa una gran injusticia, ya que a pesar de lo que ellos dicen, nosotros somos gente buena, gente de familia, gente honrada, gente humilde, gente trabajadora. Pero más que nada somos gente de Dios que ama a los Estados Unidos. Es un honor para nosotros saber que a través de nuestro trabajo y dedicación, por generaciones hemos aportado a la grandeza de esta hermosa nación. Y es por eso, aunque nos traten como lo peor de lo peor, no nos han logrado ni nos van a lograr quebrar. Nuestro amor hacia esta patria y nuestra fe en Dios es más poderoso que el odio de esta administración. Así que debemos seguir adelante, sabiendo que el día pronto las cosas van a mejorar. Como dice la Biblia, después de la tormenta llegará la calma. En su angustia clamaron al Señor y Él los sacó de sus aflicciones. Cambió la tempestad en suave brisa y las olas del mar se calmaron. Entonces se alegraron porque las olas se habían aquietado y Él los guió al puerto anhelado. A ese puerto anhelado vamos a llegar y pronto gozaremos de mejores días. Pero solo si nosotros aquí en Texas hacemos nuestro deber. Y ese deber es poner a gente en el poder que nos respetan, valoran y defienden nuestra dignidad y nuestra humanidad. Líderes que no tendrán miedo de enfrentar la maldad y hablar la verdad sin pelos en la lengua. Líderes que tienen valores y dignidad y no se van a arrodillar ante el malandro que tenemos en la Casa Blanca. Líderes que entienden a nuestra comunidad y nos representan con orgullo. Líderes como Bobby Pulido y James Talarico, que irán a Washington DC no para hacerse ricos, no para defender a los poderosos, sino que para defender a la gente trabajadora y la gente de bien. Solo de esa manera, con liderazgo digno y firme, nuestra comunidad regresará a la paz, la tranquilidad y la felicidad. Así que vamos con todo, mi gente, porque juntos en este 2026 vamos a hacer historia. Gracias y que Dios los bendiga. Y ahora, al que tanto han esperado, a mi gran amigo Bobby Pulido.
Wow, muchísimas gracias, Carlos, Eduardo, wow. Bueno, voy a hablar en inglés, ¿sí? Hello, Westlaco. It's good to be here with you tonight as we host the man who wants to be your next senator, Mr. James Talarico. Most of you know me as Bobby Pulido, the singer, but I am Jose Roberto Pulido Jr., son of a migrant farm worker, Roberto Pulido, from Edinburgh, Texas. A man who through hard work, humility, and the grace of God became a pioneer in the Tejano music industry and lifted his entire family out of poverty. And I also stand here as a son of a strong Tejana mother, Diana from Donna, Texas. A woman who held our family together, who taught me dignity, resilience, and never letting anyone forget where we come from. And now as a father myself, I want the same thing for my children. But the path feels harder. Now the obstacles feel heavier. We have to work twice as hard to get half as far. And too many families are being pushed backward instead of lifted forward. That's why I want to use my voice for a different purpose. Because we're in a new moment. And I can't stand by. We're being divided. We're being buried in debt. We're being priced out of healthcare, where a trip to the doctor feels like a luxury, and a single medical bill can wreck a family's future. And the American dream that we promised our children feels further away every year. And I'll tell you why. We have a broken political system, captured by corporations and fueled by corruption. A system that keeps working people struggling while the powerful get richer and richer. But I want to ask you all something. Are we a people who give up? No. Are we a people who stay silent? No. Are we a people who stop dreaming? No. That's right. We're not built like that. And I want to make something clear. What we need are leaders who fight for the people, not the highest bidders. Leaders who make the system work for us, not against us. We aren't here to play political games. We're not for sale. Not to any party, not to any billionaire, not to any corporation. To be clear, I'm not Team Red, I'm not Team Blue. South Texas, I'm Team U. And that's why I'm running. Not for power, not for fame, but to give every family a fair shot at success. Because billionaires take care of other billionaires. We take care of each other. This isn't about right versus left. It's about doing what's right with what we have left. That means leaders who work for everyone, not just insurance companies, big pharma, or party bosses. It means term limits. You get in, do your work, and get out. Nobody will get comfortable. It means protecting small businesses. It means no politicians playing the stock market with insider information. It means public service that's about service, not social media fame. Now, while we're talking about social media, let me say one thing. I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't believe in digging through somebody's past that they said online about 10 years ago and pretending that that defines who we are today. People grow up, people learn, life happens. And if the best argument you've got is an old joke instead of a real disagreement about ideas, values, or direction, then you're not serious about making things better. You're just trying to stir things up. Now let me talk about immigration. Because in South Texas, we believe in two sacred things: work and family. And right now, both are being attacked. Families torn apart. Workers living in fear. Even American Latinos being profiled for simply looking brown or speaking with an accent. Well, let me tell you something. If you mess with our families and our finances, we will vote you out. Gone. Yes, we can secure the border. Yes, we can go after criminals. But we can do it without targeting grandmas, gardeners, and hardworking families. We can have security and compassion. We don't have to choose. Across this district, people want the same things: peace, a good job, safe neighborhoods, a future for our kids, respect for our veterans, a dignified retirement. That's not politics. That's humanity. I'll be one vote in Congress, but I'll be your vote, your voice. South Texas's voice. 100%, 100%. When people look at me and James, they might think we don't have much in common. At first glance, he's a former teacher and a legislator, and I'm a musician. Two different paths. But what matters isn't where we started. It's why we decided to step up. I could have stayed on the road, kept doing what I love, stayed comfortable. James could have stayed in the classroom doing incredible work for his students. But we both got to a point where we saw that things weren't working. They weren't working for everybody, and realized sitting on the sidelines wasn't an option anymore. We believe in the dignity of work. We believe families deserve leaders who actually listen to them. And we believe public service isn't about ego or headlines. It's about responsibility. James shows up not just when it's easy, not just when it's popular, but when it's hard. And that's something I respect deeply, because that's how I try to live my life too. At the end of the day, what we share is simple. We love this state. We care about people who don't always get heard. And we're willing to put ourselves out there and fight for them. And that's why I am proud to endorse James Talarico's candidacy for United States Senate. And together, we're going to flip this state and change the direction of our country. Years ago, I wrote a song that captures who we really are, our spirit, our heart, our hope. The song says, porque algún día voy a comprarme mi carrito de mis sueños. One day I'm going to buy me the car of my dreams. Voy a comprarme esa casa que deseo. I'm going to buy me that house that I've always wanted. Y que me sobre más dinero para ayudar a los demás. And may I have money left over so I can help other people. That's who we are in South Texas. Se vale soñar. It's okay to dream. Se vale soñar. God bless you. God bless South Texas. And God bless the United States of America. Con ustedes, James Talarico.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Bobby. It is so good to be back in the Rio Grande Valley. Thank y'all for having us. Thank you to Chair Gonzalez for your kind words and for your service to this community. Thank you to Carlos for your friendship and for your advocacy. And a special thank you to Bobby for co-hosting this incredible event with us. You are the leader that this community needs and deserves, and you have a partner in this campaign. I grew up listening to Bobby Pledo. I never thought I'd be sharing a stage with him. This is truly a dream come true. We are building a movement in Texas. We launched this campaign 3 months ago, and since then we have shattered grassroots fundraising records. We have recruited more than 10,000 volunteers who are doing the work in every corner of this state to win in November. We've held packed rallies all over Texas, from Beaumont to El Paso, from Amarillo to right here in the Valley. You know, 8 years ago, I launched my very first campaign for the Texas House of Representatives back home in Williamson County. Back then, I was told the race was unwinnable. I was told flipping a Trump district was impossible. I was told I was too young. I was told I didn't have the money or the political connections to win. I was the underdog in that race. But my neighbors and I, we ran an aggressive, authentic, unorthodox campaign that brought people together, and on election night, we flipped that district with 51% of the vote. That was a hard-fought race, and it almost cost me everything. In that very first campaign, I was a healthy 28-year-old, and I decided to walk the entire length of my district, 25 miles, all in the Texas heat, holding 3 town halls along the walk. Halfway through, I started to feel fatigued and nauseous. I threw up a couple times along the walk, but somehow I finished. When I got home, I went to bed. I figured I was dehydrated, but I slept for 36 hours straight. My family got concerned. They took me to the ER where nurses checked my blood sugar. I'd never had my blood sugar tested before. They told me that a normal blood sugar is 100 or lower. Mine was 900. I was in a state of diabetic ketoacidosis, which leads to coma and death without insulin. I was lucky to be alive. When I got out of the ICU, I went to Walgreens to pick up my first 30-day supply of insulin, and it cost me $684. I didn't have that kind of money, still don't have that kind of money, and so I put it on a credit card. Many Texans with diabetes can't afford their insulin, so they ration or skip doses, and many of them die because of it. All because Big Pharma has manipulated and monopolized the insulin market, driving up prices to maximize profit. So when I got elected, I passed a bill through the Texas legislature to cap insulin copays at $25 per prescription. And I'm not going to stop fighting until insulin is free for every single person who needs it in this country. I've now served for 4 terms in the Texas House. Many of you have seen the viral videos of me going toe-to-toe with my Republican colleagues on the House floor. But I don't just fight Republican extremism, I beat it. I have killed my fair share of dangerous Republican bills. I know how to use every tool in the toolbox to stop them. But I don't just stop bad bills. I'm also able to pass transformational legislation to help working people, like that insulin cap. As a former public school teacher, I've passed bills to cap insulin, to cap pre-K class sizes, to put more mental health resources into our classrooms, and to equip every public school with Narcan to fight teen overdoses. And as someone who knows what it means to bear the burden of medical debt, I passed legislation to allow Texas to import cheaper prescription drugs from Canada, where they pay half what we pay for the same medicine. And as someone who was born to a single mom, who worked overtime at a hotel to provide for me, I passed major legislation to bring down the cost of childcare and housing for working parents across the state of Texas. And as a proud Texas Democrat, I broke quorum with my House Democratic colleagues to shine a national spotlight on Trump's redistricting power grab. This is what it looks like to fight for the people. We desperately need a senator who knows how to fight and knows how to win, because the only thing better than a fighter is a winner. We are going up against the political establishment in both political parties. For too long, national Democrats have taken communities like this one for granted. So people here in the Valley were open to alternatives. In the last election, Republican politicians came here and made big promises. They promised to make everything less expensive. They promised to put working families first. They promised to drain the swamp. I have dear friends and family members in South Texas who thought that sounded pretty good, and they voted for Republicans because of those big promises. I get it. I want those things too. Every Texan does. But look what's happened just 1 year later. Everything is more expensive. Working families are falling further behind, and corruption in Washington is the worst it's ever been. Republican politicians made big promises. They promised big change, but they delivered more of the same. So if you feel conned, If you feel like you've been left behind by both parties, you have a place in this campaign. My family is from South Texas. My granddad was born in Bishop. My grandmother was born in Port Lavaca. My dad grew up in Corpus Christi, and my mom grew up in Laredo. They raised me with South Texas values: family, faith, and freedom. Those are the values that I try to live by every day. Those are the values I've fought for in the trenches of the Texas legislature, and those are the values that I will take to the United States Senate. But in the hands of certain politicians, those values get twisted into something else. John Cornyn and Ken Paxton, both of them claim to stand for freedom, family, and faith. But you can't stand for freedom and control what we say, what we read, or what we do with our own bodies. You can't stand for family and vote against paid family leave, affordable childcare, and our neighborhood public schools. And you certainly can't stand for faith and sell out the sick, the poor, and the vulnerable, all to give tax cuts to the very rich. John Cornyn and Ken Paxton don't stand for freedom, family, or faith. They stand for control, cruelty, and corruption. And that's why we have to beat them in 2026. It makes me sick to my stomach to see self-proclaimed Christians in the halls of power blatantly violating the teachings of Jesus Christ. Speaker Mike Johnson, who says his entire worldview comes from the Bible, is literally about to kick 2 million Texans off their health care right before Christmas. If Mike Johnson actually read his Bible, he would know that Jesus healed the sick. No copays, no deductibles, no premiums. These Christian nationalists say they want a Christian nation until it comes to providing health care for the sick, until it comes to acting like Jesus. As Christians, Mike Johnson and I are both supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. Our neighbor is the diabetic rationing their insulin to make rent. Our neighbor is the senior choosing between their medicine and their groceries. Our neighbor is the father fighting cancer while also fighting his insurance company. If you aren't loving your neighbor, then keep Jesus' name out of your mouth. Someone came up to me after an event like this, and they said, "James, it's great that you talk about love, but we need a fighter, and love is weak." But in my faith, love is the strongest force in the universe. Love is not passive. Love is not neutral. Love is not weak. Love requires that we stand between the bully and the bullied. Love requires that we look evil in the eye and not blink. Love requires that we flip tables. That kind of love has always been a threat to the powers that be. I was born to a single mom who showed me how strong love is. She was a preacher's daughter from Laredo who left home at 19. She moved up to the big city, Austin, Texas, where she met my birth father, a 21-year-old high school dropout whose drinking problem sometimes led to violence. One night, he became abusive again. But that night, my mother's love rose to meet it. She packed all our stuff into her little Ford Escort. She drove me to the hotel where she worked. She begged the manager to let us stay in one of the rooms until we found a little apartment in East Austin. There wasn't room for a nursery, so I slept in a crib in her closet. And she was so proud of that closet. She decorated it with toys and pictures. No one was going to tell her it wasn't a nursery. Love moves people to fight in ways they never could before. Love is creative. Love is revolutionary. Hate is predictable. Hate is boring. Hate can't lower our energy bills. Hate can't teach a child to read. Hate can't build a future. But what hate can't do, love can. Love can turn an enemy into a friend. Love can turn a campaign into a movement. Love can turn a closet into a nursery. What hate can't do, love can. We're never going to defeat a politics of hate with more hate. You don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. But this campaign is not a dripping faucet. It's a fire hose. This campaign is rooted in a fierce love for our state, for our country, and most importantly, for our neighbors. And when a campaign radiates that kind of love, it brings in people who feel alienated, who feel left behind. When you extend an open hand instead of a closed fist, you'll be surprised by who will take it. That's how we win. We've got a lot of work to do to win this election. We have a moral imperative to win this election. And that's why our campaign is going everywhere and talking to everyone. We're not writing off any community or any voter. We are going to every corner of this state, and we're going to talk to every Texan, whether they consider themselves Democrats, independents, or Republicans. And we're especially going to talk to those who feel left out or left behind by this broken, corrupt political system. If you are ready to remake this broken political system in our own image, we're ready to fight alongside you. We're going to fight for every vote, including right here in the Rio Grande Valley. We're going to be working hand in hand with your next Congressman Bobby Pledo, because we know that the future of Texas runs right through the Rio Grande Valley. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Let's go win this thing. Thank you.
Great speech, brother. Guys, let's give it up one more time for James and Bobby. Man, that was awesome, y'all. Just to let you guys know, there will be pictures being taken right here in front of the stage. They've asked if you guys could all please line up here on the right side of the building and get your picture taken with these fine gentlemen. Thank you for coming, y'all. God bless.